the century, some are saying. The Cleveland Cavaliers 15-0. Was it the fourth best start to a season in NBA history? Heading to Boston, playing at the Shrek Court, taking on the Celtics. And it lived up to the expectations. 120 to 117. It did sort of feel in the first half like, all right, here we go. Like Boston's just going to steamroll every team in the league. This is just kind of a waste of our time. But then the Cavs in the third quarter, turned it on. Donovan Mitchell got going a little bit. I thought Evan Mobley played a good game of basketball. Their depleted bench unit, the Cavs, where we should say this, where the Cavaliers entered this game hurt in some areas. No Karis LeVert in this game. No Dean Wade in this game. No Okoro in this game. Those are all guys who are like options to start at the 3 for them. So they do have to start Sam Merrill, who just really I don't think is it, especially against this Celtics team where you really got to be on your P's and Q's defensively. And starting a guy like that definitely hurts you. However, the other big story for the Cavaliers is, I don't know why this shit keeps disconnecting. The other story for the Cavaliers, Tyler B with the 499. Good morning, GOAT. Do you think the Jazz having buyer's remorse on Williams and wish Connect was on their roster instead? Have a greater day. Yeah, they're probably having buyer remorse on Cody Williams. I don't know if they wish they had Connect, though. They like want to be bad. I don't know. Probably buyer's remorse on Cody Williams, though, for sure. Their court looked like a Windows 95 screensaver. So I am interested why the Celtics court has all of these like detailed on it when no other court does. Is there a reason for that? I do kind of think the green looks nice, though. However, if we're going to do that thing with the Cavs, right, with all of their guys who could potentially play the 3 for them, and that's something that they should probably look to upgrade, right? I've long thought, even last year, even maybe a little bit before that, Cam Johnson, my Lord, Cam Johnson on this Cavs team would be so great. I just don't know if they have the pieces required to make it happen. But if they don't for Cam Johnson, I think Dorian Finney-Smith on the Nets is also somebody who really, really could help them out. They really need somebody that they can just plug and play at the 3 and not really have to worry about it. And they've done pretty well so far in that regard. You know, Dean Wade, I like what Dean Wade brings to the table. I think he's a good defender. Just a questionable shot from time to time. Isn't Dorian Finney-Smith shooting 25% for 30? Yeah, but you plug him in and you don't really have to worry about him. You know? That's the reality. But the other story in this game for the Cavs, Darius Garland, 8 points, 3 of 21 from the field. So DG the PG, who's had an incredible start to the season, in a lot of ways, you know, looking like the player we all thought that he would become. Last year was a bit rocky for him for one reason or another, but DG the PG finally has rounded out into form, and last night he was really, really rough. And, you know, I just think it was a tough night for him. Just not making shots. Some people said the lights look too bright. I don't know if I would say that, to be honest with you. I hope that he keeps his confidence, and I hope that he's just bounces back. The good news for the Cavs is they play again tonight against the Pelicans, which we'll talk about the Pelicans here in a bit, are an absolutely awful team. Okay? God bless them, but an absolutely awful team in their current form. So it could be a bounce back game. But you look at all of these things for the Cavs and you say, all right, so obviously we wanted to win this game. We were 15-0. We wanted to win this game. We wanted to prove to everyone. I mean, everyone already thinks we're great, but we wanted to prove to everyone, no, we might be the best team in the East, actually. Start having those conversations. We lose by 3 on the road to what most people would consider the best team in the league without really any of the guys we would consider starting at the 3 for us. Darius Garland had one of the worst games of his life. And Donovan Mitchell, who did ramp up in the third quarter, wasn't like incredible. We're gonna be fine. We're going to be fine. If you're the Celtics, you think, yeah, we still have Kristaps Porzingis coming back. I don't know, man. I'm really happy with this start for the Cavs season. I'm happy that they are sparking a debate as to whether or not they could be the team that comes out the East. I don't think. I just don't see a team beating the Celtics, man. I really don't. It's struggle. It's a pain to say, man. But in a game like this, right? They got slaughtered in the key to minutes, and he's been solid for them so far this season. But they put him in the third quarter, and boom, the Cavs went on this ginormous run. They went on a ginormous run to close the gap. That's gonna be Kristaps Porzingis here in like a month. Drew Holiday is the worst starter. This team is a dynasty. Yeah, it just would be really surprising to me if at the end of the season it's not the Celtics winning again. Who's leading sixth man of the year rankings? Is it Pritchard? Pritchard's got to be up there. I mean, let's just look at the odds right now. It's kind of silly to look at this stuff now, but I would have to imagine that he's high up there. I'm trying to think of who else would be in the running currently. I think the Cavs are a better team than the Celtics. If the Cavs can upgrade their three at the trade deadline, I think they do have a chance to beat this team in a series. Pritchard right now is a pretty heavy favorite over Buddy Hield. But, I mean, it is still so early in the season. None of this shit really matters. No, Lively is not going to be somebody who's really considered for sixth man of the year, although he is on here at plus 3,000. There was a questionable play where Tatum, definitely a hard foul on Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell coming off of a ball screen. Tatum jumped out a little bit, little shoulder to the face. Surprised that was not reviewed. But Donovan Mitchell, bloodied up a little bit after that. Was that a dirty play? Definitely a hard foul. Don't know if I would say dirty. Explain why Jason Tatum annoys me so much. Tatum goes under the radar here when we talk about guys like this, but Tatum complains a lot. Tatum is a big-time complainer. A big-time complainer. He's one of the bigger ones that there is in the league. But he had another great game last night, 33 points. I mean, he's been solid, man. He's been solid as fuck this season. The officiating last night was horrific. That's just been a common thread so far this season. What is it, though? There was 3 nights in a row where there was a buzzer beater or a game winner. And in all 3 of those game winners, the last 2-minute report came out and said, yeah, that shouldn't have happened. You had the Tatum travel in the game against the Raptors. You had the Julius Randle travel / potential push off in the game against the Suns. And then in the Bucks Rockets game a couple nights ago, when Giannis, or I guess Dame got a bucket late to win the game. Giannis was standing out of bounds. Should have called it. That's where I'm like, get rid of the 2-minute report, please. Like, what purpose does this shit serve? To piss people off? Because then all that happens is these NBA aggregator accounts just tweet about it, and then it goes viral. People who didn't even watch the fucking game nor care, right, start talking about it. This is why I'm not watching. It's just a little annoying. Refs almost gave the Celtics the ball when it was off Tatum. They spent like 5 minutes to find out when I could figure it out in 2 seconds. Yep, that's also a major problem that the league has. Also a major problem. So anyways, the Cavs were missing like 4 rotation players here. And I thought they played admirably. And I would leave this as a Cavs fan feeling pretty good. I would also leave this as a Celtics fan feeling pretty good. So just it lived up to the hype. It really did. It was a really, really fun game. And I like the Celtics court. I feel like Celtics at a certain point always go ice cold, and that's when the Cavs came back. The only way the Celtics lose is they beat themselves. Yeah, if we look at the 3-point disparity in this game, the Celtics only 41 threes. I mean, that's kind of low for them. They have games where they're in the mid-50s, but 22 of 41 from 3. Like 53% from 3. And the Cavs, 10 of 29. I don't think people truly understand what getting outscored in the 3-point territory by 36 fucking points, how difficult that is to overcome. 36 points is the difference from 3-point land. And the Celtics just generate great 3-point shot after great 3-point shot. And if Tatum's hitting his pull-up jumpers, then it gets really, really scary. So, this in-season tournament courts are starting to look cool to me. Don't mind them as much as I did last year. They're much better than last year. They're much more toned down. What is more demoralizing, that 3-point difference or a huge rebounding difference? I think when you're watching a game, a big rebounding disparity, especially if the other team's getting a ton of offensive rebounds, hurts more. But over the course of a game, mathematically, I'm just going to assume it's much more difficult to overcome the 3-point shooting disparity. Much more difficult. Evan Mobley pretty much closed the gap by himself last night. He's been really fucking good this year, man. Really good.